Fellow travelers along the path of the beam. I am known on this level of the tower as Jaime in Fuego, and if it please you, join me here for a bit of palaver on Hey La 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 to Stephen King. That's right, my favorite author, as y'all can see by the tower of books that is just behind me here. Just call me Fuego for short, and I welcome you very cordially to the horror show. Now, I have read every single Stephen King book that has ever been published, from the non-fictions to, novellas and short stories and all kinds of craziness. Very excited for the Institute later this year. That massive undertaking of reading everything, not just everything, but in its published order, took me about 8 years. And the reason I'm giving just a little bit of this history is because this past week at Toy Fair, it was announced that not only are we getting, some very cool new stuff from the Funko Pops like Addams Family and various other bits of cool business, but we are getting a new duo of Stephen King related pops. Now, here's the thing. I have friends that collect the hell out of these little guys that you see up there and down here and so on and so forth and whatnot. The only ones that I collect are Stephen King related, and I'm actually kind of selective with my Stephen King related ones. So that is something to keep in mind. But when I saw the announcement that we are getting, not from the upcoming version of Pet Sematary, the remake, reimagining of sorts that is coming out in April, but when I saw that we are getting a set later this year that is going to be Gage and Church from the 1989 Mary Lambert film, I was like, I think it would be a cool video because I've done, here's all my Stephen King books, here's all my Stephen King collectibles, here's all my Stephen King, DVDs and films and stuff that I have. With that in mind, I was like, I kind of want to show off all the different Sai King pops that I have, and there's a few that I deliberately do not own. One, most notably, is, well, not one, but from one particular property, most notably, I do not have any of the pops from the Dark Tower franchise, or the Dark Tower film, I should say. The franchise is a different story. They're still saying that we have a series potentially coming to Amazon Prime, but nothing is set in stone as of yet. There's been lots of rumor and speculation, but yeah, we have a couple figures that were released. The Idris Elba Roland. I think they had two different versions, and there was an exclusive one in different poses, and then there was another more regular one. We also have McConaughey as none other than the Man in Black. Yeah, that's right. Randall Flagg, his many guises and everything, but Walter O'Dim, as it's more specifically, once again, another of the aliases of that guy. But so since I hated that movie so much and it just upset me immensely, I have very deliberately not purchased any of those different figures from the two characters that were released for that. And also, you see that the first one that I will show off is my little Jack Torrance that I have here. And yes, the one that I really want of him is there is a frozen variant that they have. You know how at the very end of the Kubrick film, Nicholson is sitting and he's like frozen and everything. That is the pricier one that I really want to track down and obtain at some particular point. But I don't have Wendy or Danny Torrance, and that was really because, at least initially, I was like, I only want the iconic ones, the ones that people will immediately, recognize. And now granted, it was changed to an axe in the film from, the croquet mallet and everything in, the book and in the main series, whatever. But I was like, I just want the iconic ones, but I think I do need to, at some point, track down Danny and Wendy, so the whole Happy Torrance family can all be together chilling and enjoying themselves. But I've got Jack on my shelf, and Jack is right down beside none other than Carrie White, and she's all beautifully covered in blood and stuff, which is awesome. So, I mean, being two of the first three books, and also two of the most iconic properties that King has ever put together. I have both of them chilling down there. Now, another thing that you will obviously notice is that I take mine out of the boxes. I don't really care that much. I was always the kid that, and even as I got older and I still kept purchasing action figures, whether it was Puppet Master stuff or, I mean, if you stretch back to my action figure collectability, it was funny because my best friend growing up, his dad would always make fun of us. He's like, oh, you're playing with dolls, guys. And we're there with our Battle Beasts and our G.I. Joes. And his dad is saying we're playing with dolls. And we were just like, to hell with you, Mr. Ricketts, blah, 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 you know? And yeah, we had, it's funny because I started with Masters of the Universe, okay? He-Man and the Masters of the Universe for the ill-informed. And I love those little mini comics that came with each of those, and then I shifted from, it's like I went from property to property. So first it was Masters of the Universe, then the next thing I was really into as I got, as the couple years went by, was Ghostbusters toys. And I had the actual hideout and slime to dump through and all that other stuff. And then I switched from Ghostbusters to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then lastly, the final ones that I was collecting, at least in my adolescence, were G.I. Joes, like I mentioned. But as I got into my teens and I was buying, Puppet Master dolls and things like that, I really want to get some of those on a new personal set for the horror show here. And Cecil has been goading me about this forever. He's like, dude, you need to set up something besides your King set so that you don't always have to be doing horror show reviews. Here, if there's something you see just by yourself, you can, cut the promo and, just do it. But I've been trying to get a different Infotainment set together, but that is neither here nor there. So that's just a little bit of action figure collectible doll history about me to you guys. So yes, down there you obviously see that we have Torrance and we have Ms. White, but there's a couple that I have not actually shown here on set because of the fact that I bought this new tower, everybody, and it was immediately filled to the brim with books, and I thought I was gonna have room to put more figures around and all of this other stuff, but that just didn't happen because it's all filled with books. Even the lower level that has all my Cemetery Dance and special editions and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, that's even filled. So let's see, where is it? Aha, they're hiding. This was actually a gift from former girlfriend, and it's very cool because it was a Target exclusive. And this is the only other Shining stuff that I have. Check it out, yes, the Grady Twinnies. And so that's the cool thing, is that this is the only one that I've actually kept in the box because I guess it's a Target exclusive and everything. But yeah, as I look at the back of this now, I'm like, I really want the Wendy and the Danny Torrance because that would collect the entire line of Funko Pop for the Shining Super stylized vinyl figures from Funko. Yeah, but yeah, I think these two are pretty cool, and I definitely, as I'm approaching 150 episodes really soon here on Hail to Stephen King, and I need to figure out, what I'm gonna do with these, where in particular I'm going to put them. So unfortunately, they go and they hide back behind the shelf now, ha ha ha. And another one that I don't have on display, so all of you guys see these up here. So let's just give a little history before I talk about that in particular. So this was actually the very first pop that I ever received, and it's the Tim Curry. That's right. You can see his weird little mullet, skullet kind of thing going on that he has, which is dope. But yeah, Marsha Parker actually got this little bastard for me. It was either a birthday or a Christmas present a few years ago, I can't remember, but it was the very first King pop that was ever released, even before the Dark Tower stuff, even before, The Shining and all these different things started coming out. And so I was just like, it's like, man, I had so many friends who were buying these and I thought they were kind of lame, at least until I saw the South Park ones. Like when I saw Terrence and Phillip pops, I was just like, oh, I have to have those, goddamn. But yeah, so the little Tim Curry, Bob Gray is what really just set all of this in motion, and I'll just put him back up there. And I've really, because this is probably what set the rest of things into the motion of insanity. So there's a ton of these. There's a couple different variants, I want to say, of the newer version of Pennywise, the Skarsgård kid. And so this is the one that I probably like the best, although I've really been looking at the one with the tentacles. That's pretty dope. There's one with like the hair blowing in the face. Yeah, but especially for all those different limited edition ones that they have, as opposed to running like 10 to 15 bucks, they can run like $30, $40, and that's just nuts for little figures like this. And I mean, I don't know, I like to take them out of their things and, you know, just kind of like mess with them. I'm trying to remember if his appendages even move. I don't think that they do. Some of them move, some of them don't, but yeah, so I bookend the top of my bookshelf here in my tower of books with my 2 different versions of this guy. And yeah, so that's lots of fun. And then, as you can see by the top over here, everybody, we've got the rest of the Losers Club. And so, yeah, we've got everybody with the exception of Ms. Bevy from the Levy. That's right. And the reason that I don't have Bevy from the Levy up there on top is for the sheer fact that they have a really badass variant of hers, which is her covered in the blood from the sink, as opposed to just the regular normal version. And I had been searching for a reasonably priced version of that. And I finally found it just the other day, shortly after reading about the Toy Fair announcement about Gage in church. And I was just like, woo! Awesome, awesome, awesome. So super very cool. So yeah, it was awesome to finally obtain that figure at a price that was not like in the $50-ish range, because I constantly monitor eBay and the Amazon Marketplace trying to find these little dolls, as my dad's friend would say, at a reasonable price. And so, yeah, I mean, I love my Beep Beep Richie. Yeah, obviously you got your little Finn Wolfhardy. He's dope. I mean, yeah, you've got Stan, you've got the whole gang up there very awesomely. So yeah, that is at least the extent of those. Now, the one that I have really been wanting to track down for a while, and I think it was a Hot Topic exclusive, if I remember correctly, was they have a full-on, it's almost like a little mini diorama pop kind of thing, and it's a Pennywise in the drain with Georgie right up above him. And the reason you don't see a Georgie up there is because, just like with Bevy, there is a limited edition of George where the arm has been severed and he's all like ghostly, deathly looking and everything. And so I believe the 2 pieces come separate, and so that's another one that I have been searching for a reasonable price for that particular pop, and it's just, it just pains me to pay more than like $20 for one of these little things, you know. It just really, it hurts my heart. And I love collectibles, but, you know, it's not like they're, what is it, Hot Toys or some, I don't know. I know that, and even like some of the awesome McFarlane stuff that gets a little pricier and whatnot. I don't know. That's, I really want that Hot Topic exclusive though of, you know, Pennywise in the drain with Georgie, but who knows, for now I perhaps will just settle for finally finding, for in a reasonable price range, the severed arm exclusive pop Georgie. But the one thing that is also hiding back here, and the only other thing that is still in a case, is this interesting little duo. And that's funny, right? Since I was just talking about, you know, the diorama and everything, I'm not as familiar with the vinyl sub pops, I guess. Well, no, they're not even technically pops. This is more from Funko, but yeah, it's yeah, they're called vinyl, but yet they're of a similar variety. Boy, does Georgie not look like crazy sad in this. But this is another duo that I just, for the 150th episode, I really kind of feel like I don't want to go buy another bookshelf because I really like this one and I spent a decent amount of money on it. But if it was only wider or had more shelving or something, I mean, when you're dropping like a bill or so on a bookshelf just to house all your shizzle, it's like, it's crazy. But yeah, if anybody in the comments knows like the drastic difference between the vinyls and the pops, because I know Funko, yeah, Funko does both of these. Yeah, this was another cool little variant thing that they did for the It film, makes me wonder if they're going to have anything else that is coming out, you know, for the upcoming Chapter 2. But, I mean, aside from more variants, I really don't know what else they could do. So yeah, peeps, that is, this was a very brief episode for the sheer fact that I am getting ready to head to Charlotte, North Carolina for Mad Monster from the 22nd to the 24th. Myself, Cecil Laird, and Susie von Slaughter are going to be holding it down, and who knows, I always look at the vendors and I see if they have anything reasonably priced, and it's at the Comic-Cons and the horror conventions where I have obtained all of these for much nicer than your regular retail prices. I know that even the singular figures can sell for 15 to 20 sometimes if you're really getting ripped off, but you can find them for cheaper at conventions or on Amazon and places like that. So I always bargain hunt for, you know, cool shirts and toys and posters and art prints and exclusives and stuff like that. So I will definitely be keeping my eyes open. But yeah, later this year we are getting a Gage and a Church, and I'm just wondering, guys, I know there's various other like different toys from various you know, King lines and stuff like that, but if there are any King Pops beyond the ones that I mentioned that you are aware of that I am not, since, you know, I try to be as up on this stuff as possible, but hey, I'm a fallible person, you know. Sai Fuego is, you know, not a perfect, you know, historian of King or anything, as much as I strive to be. So if there are any Pops that I have not mentioned here that I might be unaware of, besides all of the variants from the different lines and stuff that I mentioned, you know, please hit me in the comments below and let me know. And also thank MPH, as I so affectionately call her, Marsha Parker Hall, for setting this just obsessive collectability into motion. I know that there's not a ton of them, but yeah, I think that they're all pretty badass, and so yes, I definitely need to get Severed Arm Georgie, I need to get Frozen Jack Torrance, and I need to get, you know, Wendy and Danny just to complete that, especially with Danny getting ready to be all grossed up for the November release of Dr. Sleep. But yeah, I'm hopeful that Pop decides to do a few other cool exclusives sometime in the future, because they will most definitely be purchased and hopefully not be hiding behind the books on my shelf. I really need to, I'm gonna have you guys giving me so much shizzle about not having those others displayed. It's just, it's la travestie, but when you just don't have room, what do? You all were making fun of me before for the fact that I had stacks and stacks of books as opposed to having them all properly shelved and whatnot on the tiny little old Infuegotainment set that I used, or not Infuegotainment, Hail to Stephen King set that I used until the 100th episode. So yeah, everybody, I guess I will extend a grande gracias, as I always do. I've done some fun recent episodes, including a guide to Stephen King's nonfiction. Also, the Sai King Book of the Month is the Journals of Eleanor Druce, and that is going to be reviewed at the beginning of March, shortly before I do a 15th anniversary coverage for Kingdom Hospital, which is King's adaptation of the Lars von Trier miniseries from the 90s about a hospital with hauntings and stuff like that. Very similar to what he did with Rose Red, where he took The Haunting of Hill House and just kind of fashioned it with some Winchester Mansion vibes and various other things into his own beast. I also just recently did a 20th anniversary review of my favorite thing that King has done for the small screen, and that is Storm of the Century, a novel written specifically for screen, and it's a tremendous miniseries that I highly recommend. And if you want to see my coverage of that, you can check that out in the Stephen King themed playlist here. I also must give a shout out to the Hail to Stephen King Ka-Tet, where we do Tower Tuesday, where we do Pennywise Wednesday, and pretty much all Sai King palaver every single day of the week, every single day of the month, and we are reaching nearly 400 different members on there, so we're not in the thousands or tens of thousands like a lot of these other larger Facebook groups are, but I truly attest constantly that we are a very closely knit Ka-Tet that has just amazing camaraderie and kef, and yes, it's just very, very cool. I'm the sole admin and moderator there, so if you would like to join the proceedings and the Ka-Tet, yes, I would love to have you become a part of the Hail to Stephen King Ka-Tet on Facebook, so make sure to check that out. I have been Jaime and Fuego, and you can find me on all social media sectors like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, where I am currently on Infuegotainment, my personal YouTube channel, doing a bunch of Oscar coverage leading up to the awards on the 24th. I'm also doing a specific Star Wars film in chronological order, not release-wise, but timeline-wise, every single month leading up to the December release of Episode 9. So far I have Phantom Menace that is up, Episode 1. This month, on the 24th, I am doing Attack of the Clones that I just watched the other night. I'm going to be doing the spin-off films like, Rogue One and Solo. I'm also going to be doing like the Clone Wars animated, the couple Ewoks movies. So it's going to be a lot of fun monthly installments of coverage along with everything else that I am returning to doing on that channel. Greatly appreciated if you like, share, subscribe, do all that jazz, both there and here on The Horror Show, where we do 2, sometimes 3 episodes a day as we approach our 6th season of this program. Bam! Like, blow your effing mind that we have been at it for so long. It's amazing. It's humbling. And we are so very grateful, as we just recently crossed 25,000 subscribers as well, for all of you, both the Hail audience and anybody who might just be stumbling upon this video because you like pop. You like pop, Funko, whatever's. That's cool by me. So, yes, everybody, that is going to be the end of things for today until Saturday's Hail to Stephen King arrives. So, I guess until the Wheel of Ka comes around once more, I say hasta luego, cinemigos, and constant viewers and readers alike. I hope that we get to share more palaver sooner rather than later. Say thank you. And until that instance occurs, remember to stay scared and read Stephen King sometime in between trying to, collect all of your little dolls, as my best friend's father would have said.